I'm Major Leanne Babcock. I'm the Contingency Response Mission Area Lead for Project Convergence 22. So March Air Reserve Base is the host for one of the 4 locations that we have here in Southern California. We provide that power projection platform for a experimental system. The Air Combat Command is utilizing Project Convergence to test between here and the location at Camp Pendleton to see which one will meet the desired learning objectives that they have for both the first and the second scenario for Project Convergence this year. It is a little bit of a competition between the contractors that have built this Tactical Operations Center light. So where the contingency response personnel come into play is we're providing that bolt-on. So we're playing with this scenario. We have left our home station in our 72-hour requirement. We've flown across the world to a location, and we are a hub and spoke concept. So we've connected with a contingency response element at this location in the Pacific, and then we have gone to spoke off into a smaller location with our 2 contingency response teams. And we are bolting on to this Tactical Operations Center light to provide that airfield battle space watch that you need for a contingency response force under our current force management structure that we have. And as the only reserve unit that is participating in this location, and it's our host base, it's a pretty big deal for us as well, because we are the first Air Force Reserve Command contingency response unit to participate in Project Convergence and in the capacity for our future conversion state next fiscal year.
With this, we're throwing in a whole bunch of new variables and obstacles. Now, this is just in its infancy, really, or maybe you'd call it a toddlership at this point, because they have gone through at least one iteration already. But a lot of things are still being figured out with the emerging technologies that they're developing for the talk light system that they're trying to put together. What we do as CRT primarily is act as the senior airfield authority. That means that we are responsible for everything that happens on that airfield. So what that means is when you're adding all these teams with these emerging technologies that they're trying to work out, we are basically responsible for how they operate, where they're operating, what aircraft they're operating with, and we are the central node for all operational reporting and processes that go on the airfield.
So basically we have the Army, the Navy, the Marines, obviously the Air Force, and reserves, guard, active duties, and different entities as far as like Lockheed Martin, Northrop Grumman, stuff like that, working on their equipment. And for PC-22, it's trying to get everyone together to build something new that's never even happened, because these guys, like you said, Sergeant Scholl had said, that they are trying to embed them with us, so when they go out to 4 operating locations, being out in the middle of nowhere, one like that, where we set up and they can do their thing, meaning tracking the airplanes flying around, telling them where to bomb, where to detect incoming missiles to shoot them down, stuff like that. So like Sergeant Morin had said, that is our job, is to allow them to do their job. And just this experiment alone, just trying to coordinate with everybody, they all have different plans, they all have different scenarios that they're trying to prove, but trying to get everyone to collaborate on one aspect to build this whole project is very difficult, and it's been putting its toll on us, for sure.
So throughout each day of this experiment, we're looking at it as a way to perfect and continue improving on what we've done the day before. So kind of a Groundhog Day, but we're taking daily hot washes. And at the very end of the scenario, we'll do an after action report that we'll be able to provide to our Wing and Air Force Reserve Command and our functional underneath the A3. That'll show a clear representation of what we were able to do in an experiment scenario against our new AFRIGEN capabilities. I think for us as reservists, we understand that a 72-hour requirement is not clearly defined on how all this works with your activation, with mobilizing. And in the logistics community, that's our bread and butter. So we're very fortunate to be working with our host wing and then Air Force Reserve Command as well to gather the data and the metrics so that we can better enable units for this force posture and help further define it to make sure that reservists want to stay in units. They want to continue re-enlisting, but then they know that they have an opportunity in the next 1 to 3 fiscal years that if they're looking to join a contingency response unit in the reserve, that there are 5 that we have in the command located in different areas of the country that they could interview and potentially join depending on their career field and the flexibility that they might have within their civilian work life, because it does take a bit more than 1 week in a month and 2 weeks a year to do what we're doing.